Um,
Hello, everybody. Christopher, I'm sorry to cut you off. We are live. We are here. It is 1 o'clock on Monday, March 30th, and you have joined the Lipgloss and Aftershave Skincare Festival. And today, this session is going to be a good one because it talks about a lot of new, exciting products. So I will hand it over to Barry, who can tell you who we have with us today.
Hey everyone, Barry here, Philadelphia in the house. We are so pumped to be able to learn about 4 new products from M.A.D, Maximum Active Dermaceutical Skincare. We've written about them for years. We are obsessed with this brand. I've used it for years. I love so many of the products. Michael has been a pillar in the community for ever. We worked with Michael. I met Michael 5 years ago at the Philly show when I bought their glycolic cleanser, still one of my favorite go-to products. So Christopher is with them. He is in charge of all things spa, all things skincare with M.A.D, and he is going to go through these amazing new products. One mask has CBD in it, so you're going to be getting a little bit of a dose of CBD in this one. Housekeeping notes, we're gonna go till about 1:45, is it? Yeah, 1:45. We'll do some Q&A and we'll give you the opportunity. If we can't get to your questions, we'll give you a solution-based we'll give you an opportunity to learn how you can get your question answered, either through their Instagram or their an email, whichever they choose to tell us. We are also saying that if you want to say something?
I just want to stop you really quick. I had someone say that they can't hear. If there's anyone else, it may be one individual technical difficulty, but if anyone wants to pop a comment in the chat if they can't hear, I only have one comment of that. So Misty, I'm so sorry. I don't know if it's an issue with anyone else. Continue on.
Okay, so let me see, where was I? We're gonna do, if you want to join us through Instagram, you can join us. We are Lipgloss_Aftershave, and M.A.D Skincare is, I just believe it's Jenny, are they M.A.
Yep.
D period?
On with the handle. What?
Yep.
For asking me. Instagram queen. Christopher, what is the Instagram handle?
M.A.D Skincare USA.
There you go.
But it's
right.
M.A.D Skincare USA.
Thank you.
And then we're LA Fest. At this point, Christopher, it's going to be yours to take over. You can share your screen. We both mute ourselves and turn our screens off, but if you need us, we're here for you.
Okay, excellent, excellent. Well, we do have a PowerPoint today for you guys that we're really excited to go over. But I would love to start with a little bit of company history because I don't think many people are familiar with where we came from. And again, Barry and Jenny, thank you guys so much for doing this today. You know, our hearts go out to anyone who is, you know, not actively performing services right now. Also, thank you to all the healthcare workers that are out there working hard to keep us all healthy and safe. And we're just very excited to have this opportunity today. So with that being said, and for any of the M.A.D-sters that are joining us, we're happy to have you guys here. Absolutely. So a little bit of company history. M.A.D Skincare, we are out of Paterson, New Jersey, in the beautiful Biogenesis Labs. The company did start in 2012, and we started manufacturing physical product in 2013. Michael Contorno is our president. He used to be an executive with DDF for over 14 years. So he has a very long background in cosmetic chemistry and in this industry. So Michael's amazing. And I think we'll get started with our PowerPoint, Barry, if that's okay. Let's see, we have a lot to cover here.
Yes,
by the way, guys, we do have over 100 SKUs. We have retail and professional, but today specifically, we're going to be going over our 4 new products that we are ready to launch at the end of March, 2 of which are being manufactured, you know, right now. So 2 are finished. We have 2 more to go. We're really excited about this. So let's see if I can share my screen here. Okay, can everyone see that?
I cannot see it.
Not yet, Christopher.
Okay, let's see here.
There you go.
Okay. Okay, can everyone see that?
No, it's not up yet. So all you have to do is hit the, in the bottom menu bar, you just hit share screen and then select the screen that you want.
Let's see, do it again. How about now?
You got it.
Yes, thank you.
Excellent. Excellent. Thanks, Barry. Thank you. Okay. Let's see if we can expand this just a bit. Okay, guys. So, M.A.D Skincare, maximum active dermaceuticals. The concept behind this is instead of using one active ingredient to spur a desired result, we're actually using multiple active ingredients in every product so that when you are applying X, Y, or Z product to the skin, it's having all these different things come at it at one time. One active ingredient is great, but unfortunately over time your skin will adjust just like anything else will. I'm sure people are familiar with if you ever had a shampoo or conditioner that you loved, and after 3 or 4 months you notice that maybe it's not doing exactly what it was when you first started using it, because that adjustment period has reached its peak. And so typically someone will move on to something else and circle back around at a later time. So we're using multiple active ingredients in each formulation at once. And the theory is when you're applying that to the skin in each step, according to skin type and desired outcome, of course, the skin isn't able to necessarily adjust so easily because it's trying to make sense of all these active ingredients per product. And with that being said, we do have quite a deep ingredient panel for each product. And so what we've done, as you can see here, is actually color-coded these products for the entire brand. And so environmental is red, brightening is yellow, anti-aging is purple, acne is blue, delicate is green. This is helpful for not just use in back bar during a service, but also at the point of sale. So I just wanted to use it as a jumping off point. That's where these colors come in. Beautiful skin by design. We do use natural ingredients, of course, wherever we can, wherever they're useful, but there is some cosmetic chemistry involved. And so beautiful skin by design, we're designing that result through the use of our SKUs. Now, these are our 4 new, sure, go ahead.
Christopher, I just want to pop in. Is there a way for you to make the PowerPoint presentation the entire screen, maybe the slideshow options, so people can have a bigger view?
Let's see.
So at the top on the PowerPoint menu bar, if you see next to animations, there's slideshow.
Okay.
You should be able to click on that. Go up a little.
Let's see.
There we go. And then you can do from beginning or from current slide, and it should take over the screen a little bit bigger.
Jenny,
there we go.
Awesome.
Perfect. Thank you.
All right. So we've got new professional treatments for 2020. Skin concerns, anti-aging, brightening and hyperpigmentation, acne, and then finally delicate. So we decided to get really creative when we were launching these new products. And 4-Fruit Enzyme Mask is number 1. Wheatgrass Recovery Mask with CBD. And Jenny and Barry, I know my previous educator was discussing CBD and did a beautiful job on that too. We all know that it is a very popular ingredient and seems to be exploding in its use in both professional treatments and even retail products. So we're really excited about that. I think we can all agree on the popularity of CBD. Breakout Control Charcoal Peel Off Mask, and then we created a mandelic acid peel at a 25% also with CBD. And so I'm going to explain, although that may seem like a little bit of an odd combination, the reasoning behind that and how that works. Okay, get ready for more M.A.D Skincare. Let's go up just a little bit. Okay, the first one we're going to start with is the Breakout Control Charcoal Peel-Off Mask. M.A.D Skincare's Breakout Control Charcoal Peel-Off Mask is packed with a skincare superstar, charcoal. And I just wanted to dive a little bit into that at the end of this too, of where that comes from, what's the difference between regular charcoal and activated charcoal. It's actually very interesting how they arrive at activated charcoal and why it's important to use activated versus non-activated charcoal. But first, charcoal is beloved by the beauty industry largely because of its ability to draw out toxins, dirt, and grime, which can cause acne and blackheads. Combined with willow bark extract and alp sebum, those are also in the solution in the mask itself. In a peel-off mask format, binding to the surface of the skin is a product that promises to change the beauty game. And I actually put a little bit of this into a container here. It's really interesting. It's already starting to solidify, and we'll spend more time looking at this at the end, but this is a beautiful jet black mask. It almost looks a little bit like tar. And when you apply this with a fan brush on the surface of the skin, very thin layer, over 10 to 15 minutes, it's going to solidify and become a solid. When you peel that off, it comes off all in one piece. It's taking the dirt, grime, excess sebaceous oil, and blackheads along with it. So okay, next, 4-fruit enzyme mask with pumice. Now, this is both a mechanical and a physical exfoliating professional product. That is one of the two that's still being manufactured right now. It's both colorless and odorless. It's a beautiful clear gel with the 4-fruit enzymes obviously within the gel, and then we've got that crushed pumice in there as a mechanical exfoliant. So the idea here is you're not just mechanically exfoliating the skin to etch the skin, if you will, and break up all those dead cells. Those acids are coming in after that to help to chemically dissolve and break those bonds down too. So it definitely packs a little bit of a punch, but I think it'll be something that one would argue might be a workhorse for your back bar. Very, very effective, very easy to use, does the trick quickly so you can move on and start with the rest of the treatment steps. It's also going to increase the penetration rate of whatever you're putting on afterwards, because now you've destroyed all that dead surface protein. So we've got pineapple, blueberry, cherry, and papaya. Those are the enzymes that make up the exfoliation chemically in this mask. And as I said before, we have the pumice that we crush up and put in there, which, by the way, pumice is from volcanic rock. So this is going to soften and smooth the skin, increases cell turnover, removes dark pigments trapped within the cell, hyperpigmentation, increases the skin's glow and removes dead skin cells, minimizes the appearance of pores, reduces the appearance of discolorations, reduces fine lines and wrinkles, gentler than glycolic acid, non-irritating, that's very important, nourishes the skin with over 50 minerals, and again, back to the pumice, it's going to gently etch the skin to improve the enzyme effectiveness and exfoliation. So going back to the beginning with that, multiple ingredients pointing the skin in the same direction, this is in the spirit of that as a back bar product. Okay, again, and guys, that one is colorless and odorless. This number 3, Wheatgrass Recovery Mask with CBD. So this is 2 of the 4 products that we do have CBD in. And I'm going to start with the base of this. Wheatgrass contains both vitamins and natural phytochemicals, such as flavonoids, which are known to be antioxidants. Antioxidants help to slow down the aging process. Wheatgrass helps detoxify the skin, enhancing the skin's health and provides glowing skin. Wheatgrass can also be used for skin conditions such as eczema and psoriasis, as well as beneficial for acne-prone skin and improving the appearance of scars and blemishes. Wheatgrass contains vitamins, amino acids, enzymes, and chlorophyll. It has 98 of 102 Earth's important elements. Phosphorus, calcium, iron, magnesium, potassium are among those important elements. So when you're wearing, by the way, the base of this is kaolin clay. So you've got this kaolin clay base doing what we know kaolin clay does. It's going to help to absorb oil. It's a carrier product for the rest of these actives. The wheatgrass is delivering those 98 earth elements to the skin. All the while along that, wheatgrass is helping to nourish with vitamins and its own minerals. Wheatgrass has more vitamin A and C than oranges and carrots. Again, super antioxidant, exceptionally rich with vitamin E, K, and B, which are great for healing and tissue recovery post-treatment. This is definitely in the delicate realm. This is a mask that we're really excited to have to reduce inflammation, irritation after maybe a little bit of an aggressive treatment. It can also, of course, be used on its own. It's got a actually beautiful color. I put this one also, definitely a different consistency. It's got a very light whipped creamy consistency, as you can see, and the color is beautiful, we think, too. So that's going to be number 3. Number 4 is actually a chemical peel. We have numerous chemical peels. They're all in a gel format. So when you are using these, you can actually move them around the skin like you would a massage oil, except it's a chemical peel. So you're still getting that massage manipulation, but you're actually performing a peel. Mandelic acid. This is, I think, I love all the 4 products, but I'm really, really excited about this one because I personally am a huge fan of mandelic acid for pigmentation. Mandelic acid, a gentler format of alpha hydroxy acid, AHA, derived from bitter almonds, addresses wrinkles and fine lines. Mandelic acid is a go-to anti-aging ingredient in the world of skincare. It works to accelerate cell turnover by dissolving the tiny bonds that hold skin cells together, helping remove dead skin on the surface that may lead to dull complexion and fine lines. Of course, it's going to do the same thing any gentle chemical peel does with no downtime, remove that dead surface protein, make the skin brighter, fresher, more exuberant, have that luminosity back to it, except now the mandelic is going to be a superstar in addressing the hyperpigmentation or pigmentation irregularities, discoloration, that brown ruddy appearance that people can often get when maybe they haven't had a service done as much as they should or they want to. Mandelic acid also helps to prompt collagen synthesis. Hyperpigmentation and discoloration. Melasma is a common skin condition where light to dark brown or grayish pigmentation develops on the face. Mandelic acid has been shown to reduce melasma by as much as 50% in 4 weeks. That's pretty incredible, 50% in a month, resulting in more evenly colored complexion. Lastly, acne. Mandelic acid's antibacterial properties are extremely helpful in treating acne. It also helps to regulate sebum production and in turn decrease the occurrence of breakouts. Mandelic acid has even been shown to benefit those who suffer from cystic acne. We're also adding that active CBD into the solution. And the concept behind that is, yes, we're using this gel-like format to deliver this chemical peel, this chemical exfoliation, but when we're facilitating that controlled injury, that controlled wound, the skin is going to release inflammatory components. With the CBD in there, it's going to come behind the peel and help to dial that down muffle that down and push back against those inflammatory components that the cells are now releasing as they begin the healing process. So this is going to be a very popular, I think, new peel to have when it comes to pigmentation, but also people that are traditionally sensitized or have trouble receiving chemical peels. And again, it's in that gel format in these little pumps that we can use. Dispense a little bit, move that around the surface of the skin. I would say 7 minutes is probably enough, although you could keep it going for a little longer based on the tolerance level of the client you're treating at the time. This will absorb into the skin. It's designed to do that. So the skin is actually taking it down as you're working it in, as you're working it through. When you're done, whatever is left on the surface of the skin that hasn't absorbed, we do have a neutralizer solution. You can pat the rest dry with a towel, remove the excess, neutralize, and move on to the next step of the treatment. What is CBD? The body constantly runs biological systems in the background to control everything from breathing to sleep cycles. Within these systems, cells, chemicals, and other molecules communicate with one another to make sure everything goes smoothly. This state of equilibrium is known as homeostasis. The endocannabinoid system is one of those regulatory processes. Although only recently discovered, and this is a topic we've touched on earlier, even the hour before this, and that's, I think, one of the reasons why people are so excited about this is that CBD really has not been around in skincare for that long, but everyone's loving the results, and now we're seeing it in more and more products. The endocannabinoid system is one of those regulatory processes. Although only recently discovered, researchers note it controls appetite, pain, cognition, and nerve health, inflammation, and much more. The body already contains its own endocannabinoids, such as those ones first discovered by the scientists in the 90s. These occur naturally within your endocannabinoid system, much like hormones or other neurotransmitters exist in other systems. Phytocannabinoids come from plants. They are basically the same as our endocannabinoids, but since humans are not plants, they vary slightly. These chemicals are found not only in cannabis, but other sources like kava, echinacea, rosemary, and black pepper. We consume these cannabinoids through eating, drinking, isolating them for creams, and more. CBD promotes quicker recovery and cell turnover. Endocannabinoids are found at the intersection of the body's various systems, allowing communication and coordination between different cell types. At the site of an injury, for example, cannabinoids can be found decreasing the release of activators and sensitizers from the injured tissue, stabilizing the nerve cell to prevent excessive firing, and calming nearby immune cells to prevent the release of pro-inflammatory substances. This is the idea behind that mandelic acid peel, 25% with CBD. Again, obviously, we know that through the use of that, we've, created a controlled injury. So it's serving to this purpose in that way. But for the Wheatgrass Recovery Mask, if someone already comes in and they have rosacea or they have sensitivity, redness, irritation, erythema, any of those things, that can serve at the end of the treatment in its own way for the same reason, to calm that inflammatory reaction down and provide some relief and soothing qualities to that inflamed and very angry skin. And I think that is the end of this PowerPoint. This is pretty cut and dry.
Christopher, do you want me to open up the Q&A and we can go through some of these?
Yes, Jenny, thank you so much. Let me put this down here. Okay. Okay, great.
Okay, perfect. So we are back. I just want to say, first of all, that charcoal mask is amazing. I know how you mentioned, I'm going to put us in gallery view, so I'm not so large. You mentioned that the consistency was really thick. It does. It feels a little bit like tar, and I have to admit I was a little nervous the first time I used it, but when that peeled off, it was amazing. It was unlike the masks that I used to use when I was 16 that would pull, and they would actually pull the hair on your skin. None of that happened. It comes off very nicely, and actually if you apply it evenly, it can come off in one piece. So I was able to get it off in one piece. So I just wanted to put that comment out there, but we will get to some of the questions. Is there a minimum opening order with M.A.D?
Thank you, Jenny. There is no minimum opening order requirements with M.A.D Skincare. So whether it's filling in the holes that you may have in your existing line or lines, or stocking your entire back bar and retail area, we are happy to work with you. It's on a case-by-case basis, so there are no minimum opening order requirements, no.
Perfect. I'll do some, I guess, sort of housekeeping admin. Can people get the presentation emailed? I want to let everyone know that this is being recorded and we're sending out a replay. So you can actually go through the entire presentation again. So that will be an option. But Christopher, is it possible for them to get the actual slide deck?
Absolutely. We're happy to share that with you guys. Also, we do have press releases for each one of these 4 new products that do go into a little bit more depth than the PowerPoint did, which we can still continue to discuss, but I'm happy to send those to you guys as well. If you guys would like to have this PowerPoint and the 4 press releases, you can simply email Christopher at mad-skincare.com and we'll be happy to send those out to you.
Perfect. Let's see. Okay, back to the charcoal mask. Is it back bar or retail?
Yes, so this is a back bar product. As you can see, we have a beautiful open mouth jar here. I took the filter off because this is very thick, but as you can see on the Wheatgrass Recovery Mask, they each come with this little, it's actually beautiful. That goes back on top. Full 8 ounces. Now you can see it almost looks like a black, it's jet black, kind of like tar. So you're moving through your treatment, now you're ready to institute the mask portion of the treatment. You're going to apply this with a fan brush. You want to do it in a little bit thicker than you would think visually, because again, the concept here is we designed this to solidify over that 10 to 15 minute time frame. It's sitting on the surface of the skin. As it's drying and turning into a solid, that activated charcoal is now absorbing the excess oil, the dirt, the toxins that have landed on our skin from the world that we live in, the world that's all around us. So that by the time it is dry and you go to start peeling it off, it peels all in one piece. You throw it away. All the toxins, dirt, oil are trapped within that mask, and you simply move on to the next part of the treatment. The thing that I love about this too is that you don't really need to necessarily cleanse behind it, because after the mask has done all that work, you just pull it off, you throw it away.
Yep.
So now you're saving time.
And it peels off so nicely. There was maybe a few little spots where it wasn't applied evenly, like around my hairline, but it peels off so nicely. And the one tip I will give anyone is that it almost always looks wet, even when it's completely solidified. And stop me if I'm wrong, but I would look at it, I'm like, well, it's not really dry yet, but you can feel the tackiness go away as it dries. So it's by far one of my favorite treatment masks. I think it creates such a cool experience in the treatment room when you actually peel it off. It's got to be such a sensory experience for these clients.
And because of the jet black nature and that tar-like shine that it has, it actually is a beautiful, even when you're, let's say you wanted to show the client, peel it off and say, hey, look, this is what came off. It's like a shining jet black, beautiful mask. I mean, it's just a pretty thing to use. So from the efficacy of it all the way down to the way it looks, you can even pick the mirror up and show your client, hey, look, it's setting. When we take this off, it's going to pull everything along with it. We're really excited where we landed when we, completed this new product.
So I think, I hope I answered your question. I think the name is M.A.H.A, Maha. It is not uncomfortable. It's not uncomfortable to remove at all. It actually feels extremely soothing when it goes on and amazing when it comes off. So that's that. Can the charcoal mask be used in a spot treatment area?
That's a great question. Yes, you absolutely can. You absolutely can. So if you're focusing on, let's say there's a problem area and maybe you want to start face mapping, maybe you want to use mask A on, the rest of their face, but you want to treat the T-zone with a charcoal peel-off mask, you can actually 1000% do that.
That's a great idea. I like that
Yeah.
idea.
Or you can spot treat on the blemishes themselves. If I may, Jenny, I would love to talk about what activated charcoal is versus non-activated.
Absolutely.
Because this is really, really interesting. So charcoal has actually been around for, over 1,000 years. The ancient Egyptians used to use this in beauty. Just like the pumice in that 4-fruit enzyme mask or exfoliator, the Greeks used to use pumice to remove unwanted hair. So when you grind that pumice up, it becomes almost like ash, but it's going to still mechanically exfoliate. Charcoal, the same thing. They're actually taking the activated charcoal, they're grinding that charcoal up, which is created when you burn carbon between 600 to 900 degrees. Sometimes people use things like coconut shells, wood, things like that. Now you've got this charcoal, they crush it up, they add steam to it. And by adding steam to it, now you've got activated charcoal. Why is that important? Because activated charcoal has a significantly larger surface area. And it's really interesting. They did a study on this, the British Journal of Clinical Pharmacology. So much additional surface area is created during the activation process that 50 grams of activated charcoal, which is about 20 United States pennies, that's it. That's how much that is. Has 17.5 times more the surface area than a full-size football field. So I thought that was a very interesting fact about activated
That's
charcoal.
completely interesting. And then you get to put it on your face. Thank you for doing that research.
Well, it's absorbing all those, again, the oil, the dirt, the debris, and all the things that unfortunately land on us when we're going about our environment.
That you don't want in your pores. How much should people be using, Christopher, for a full face? Do you think it's like a teaspoon?
With this particular product, because you do want to apply it a little thicker than the eye would guess, I would say you probably would want to do at least a tablespoon, maybe a tablespoon and a half.
Okay.
Whatever it takes to cover that surface area where it's going to be thick enough so when it dries, you can peel the whole thing off. It will come off in one piece as long as you do it just thick enough.
Yeah. Practice makes perfect with this mask.
Absolutely.
Can you use steam with it?
That's a really, really great question. With this one, you don't want to use steam. You really want to let it truly dry. The air is going to do all the work for you. Maybe move on to a hand and arm treatment, scalp massage, whatever you want to do during that, solidification period. But after that, again, 10 to 15 minutes, it's ready to go. You peel it off and you move forward.
And that's a good segue into some of the other questions, because someone asked, Abigail had asked, are all masks are peel off? Question. It's just the charcoal mask that is a peel off out of this collection, right?
Right. Okay. So, Wheatgrass Recovery, and again, we did finish the first two. The other two are still in production. So I do have these two today to show you guys. We already took a look at that charcoal, and again, it's starting to. You really want to do about that thick. Okay, and let's move on to the wheatgrass, because with this one, again, you've got that Carolyn clay base. It's got a very, very creamy texture. This one you can apply in a very thin, almost an eggshell layer if you want, because you're just trying to cover that first layer of cells, and then you're good to go. You can move on.
Christopher,
oh, go ahead, Barry.
Guys,
I'm sorry.
I did an interview with Michael, and it's on our website. There's an article about the new products that M.A.D produced, and I did an interview with Michael, and that video is there as well. But Christopher, Michael was talking about the wheatgrass in this mask. I was more blown away by the CBD, but he was just absolutely enthralled with wheatgrass in this, and talked about the amount of micronutrients in wheatgrass that's being put back into the skin in this mask. He said is astonishing. What can you talk about for what's happening with the wheatgrass as far as recovery to skin?
Sure. Thank you, Barry. Absolutely. So again, back to those trace earth elements and minerals. That wheatgrass has 98 out of the 102 in it. So when you can stabilize that active ingredient and preserve it in a mask format, every time you're performing a service, doesn't have to be a chemical peel, maybe it is, maybe it's a good old-fashioned European hydrating or purifying facial. You're manipulating that skin that may already be compromised when the client came in. So the idea here is, how are we artificially going to infuse those nutrients back? Maybe the person has a poor diet, maybe they're not getting enough leafy greens, fruits, and veggies that we all know we're supposed to eat, which the skin is the last place to receive that, by the way. When you ingest any nutrient, your skin, unfortunately, is the very last organ that receives that, because it's only meant as a line of defense. It's not really meant to look pretty or to look nice. So with that being said, we can apply this externally and have it go in from the outside, and if we're not getting it from the inside out.
One of the things that Michael said that I loved, and I learned something every time I talk to him, he said that when you do damage to the skin, a controlled damage in a treatment, microneedling, microderm, chemical peels, the instant that damage occurs, the skin cells automatically start to look for the things that they need to rebuild and repair. It's an instantaneous reaction within the cell. And when you apply this wheatgrass with those 98 trace elements and minerals, it instantaneously starts to give the skin almost everything that it needs to rebuild itself. So I was blown away by that, because after a chemical peel, after a microderm, I don't understand why you wouldn't put this on, because we learned about the restorative and regenerative powers and anti-inflammatory powers of CBD. But when you combine that with wheatgrass, it's just it's beyond anything that you could give your skin. And our St. Patrick's Day picture was me wearing the mask. So I love it. I truly love the mask. I've used it. But we also just posted it on the Lipgloss and Aftershave Instagram. So there's a great shot of it. If you want to read more about it, you can go there. But we're getting questions too about your CBD. So I don't know if you have information on your specific CBD ingredient. The questions are, what type of CBD do you use in the product? Is it water soluble? I assumed that all CBD was, so I'm not clear on that. If you can speak to that. And then what type of CBD do you use in the product? Where is it derived from?
Sure. So if I can just also just take a step back for 1 second, Barry, because I'm so happy that you touched on, and not to forget that excellent question, but I'm really happy that you touched on the correlation between those 98 trace minerals, where the wheatgrass comes in, where the CBD comes in. Because again, whether it's skin that's compromised or skin that just received that microneedling, that chemical peel that's now compromised because of that, the idea here is that you have resurfaced, compromised the skin, whatever it is, you're instantly feeding it the nutrients it needs to kickstart that healing process.
Amazing.
Right out of the gate, right out of the gate, so that there's not this window of waiting time, of catch-up time that the skin's trying to play to draw these nutrients to start the healing process, because they're already present. They're already there. And then that step 3 is where that CBD comes in, because now we're starting to control that inflammatory process that will happen anyway. But if we can muffle it down a little bit and, you know, just flatten that a little bit, if you will, through the use of that topical CBD, then now we're connecting all the dots. So we're getting that change that we're looking for without inciting more damage than not is needed, but would happen naturally through an artificial means of control.
Love it.
And Christopher, so what role, someone is asking about watercress, Bernadette. She said that she saw a photo of watercress. And so what role does that play in the mixture?
Right. So we know that watercress actually, believe it or not, happens to be a plant that is also nutrient dense and rich, just like that wheatgrass is and the Irish moss. Watercress is also got its own trace minerals present, those phytochemicals that are obviously from plants, but they still do provide their own healing properties, their own regenerative properties, and give that youth and bounce back to the skin by topically applying them. The Irish moss has a soothing component within it. So that's, again, going to help to soothe that skin down, dissipate redness, dissipate erythema, and all these things working in concert are going to facilitate healing and the dissipation of the red, angry skin. And this is even great to use on someone that has rosacea, quite frankly.
No, I can imagine all the soothing, healing benefits. So it doesn't have to be used post-invasive treatment or anything like that. It can be used just for calming sensitive skin. I think that that's a great way to
even as a
incorporate
standalone, right? Even as a standalone, as can the charcoal peel-off mask. If you just don't have time to do an entire treatment, but you're in a pinch and you really want to beautify the skin, throw this on, let it do its thing, have a cup of coffee, peel it off, you're ready to go. You know,
Have a cup of coffee.
I know your accent. I just can't.
I want to butt in. You only sell through professionals, correct? You do not sell through at retail at all, right?
That is, I knew that question was coming. So we are business to business. We do have the capacity for you to set up an account with M.A.D on the website, and we just, go from there. However, we do have the ability for a consumer, if they're an outlier and they don't have a spa near them where they can buy the product, we do allow the consumers to access retail through our website. So professional, business to business only. Retail, the consumer can purchase pieces if they're, willing to set up an account, if they're an outlier. But we do support aggressively our spas that carry both retail and pro. And I just want to say we also give these beautiful, generous amount of samples in every order that is placed. So the idea here is they're coming in, we want them to try it, we want them to fall in love with it, they're going to continue buying it from you. So although we do, again, have that capacity for someone to purchase a retail product through the site as if they are a consumer, not associated with an esthetician or a spa.
And then Christopher, your email address is christopher@mad-skincareusa.com.
It's christopher@mad-skincare.com.
So no USA. Okay, Abigail, you saw that. Okay, great. And then, so how does the charcoal mask differ from the hydrogel masks? Like, I guess, aren't those the hydrogel masks the ones that they turn into like a thick gel that you just easily peel off? This is totally different, right? Jenny?
The hydrogel mask, it's a really good question. So I wonder if she's talking about the collagen masks or
I'm just thinking those thick ones that like turn into a thick gel. This is totally different. It's because
it adheres almost. Yeah, I feel like the end result, right? I mean, because the charcoal mask is actually detoxifying, I feel like the hydrogellies are infusing product, and they're not actually, for the most part, because of the consistency and the way they lay on the skin, not detoxifying the skin. But correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe you can clarify a little bit more if that doesn't answer your question.
I think Oh, go ahead, Barry. I'm sorry.
Well, I'm just saying it was a question that's all that was there. So I'm assuming that it's like, because everybody sees those hydrogel masks that are out there now that they peel off in one sheet. This is very different. It's much thinner. It's designed to detoxify, not necessarily just
Infuse.
add a layer of infusion. Christopher, how many treatments do you think are in the charcoal mask professional container?
So I would say between 20 and 30.
Okay, perfect. And then you don't have
8 ounces.
You don't have a part of your website where estheticians can set up an account and clients can purchase from their home off of that account, right? The esthetician has to place the order with you, you ship it to her, and then she'll ship it to the client.
Right. We don't drop ship. So what we would do is when you have an account set up, which you can do online at madskincare.com, we go in, we approve the account. We check the license, we approve the account. Once your account is established and you're set up, you're ready to go. You can start selecting at wholesale prices the products that you would like to, start carrying in retail and professional. We do ship them directly to you. So we don't drop ship, but again, we do include a very generous amount of samples and literature in every order. And then Barry, I did want to just circle back for 1 second about, because Jenny made a really good point with the question we had previously with the jelly-like masks. Those are, and Jenny, I think you hit the nail on the head. Those are really meant to infuse things into the skin. The concept behind this is to subtract, is to take out. We're trying to use that activated charcoal to absorb toxins, sebaceous oil, excess sebaceous oil, dirt, and then remove that and then move on. Doesn't mean you can't use something to infuse back in after, but this is strictly to subtract. It's not to add anything, it's just to subtract.
Yep, I completely agree. And so, Christopher, best website for purchasing. So would they just set up their professional account at madskincareusa.com? Is that the site?
Right. So you're going to go on madsskincare.com. On the top, it's going to say, are you a professional? So if you're a licensed professional, click that. It's going to bring up a pane in which you enter your information and your licensing information as well. That goes internally. We cross-check that. The account is approved, and we move forward. We love hearing about what your vision is, by the way, too. If you guys don't know where to start, I know when you have over 100 SKUs, it can be just a little bit overwhelming. Again, that's where the color coding is just so helpful. Not just for you when you're getting acquainted with the line, but also at the point of sale. Let's say you're in a rush and someone is at the checkout, they can automatically by color land where, hey, I'm oily, hey, I'm delicate, hey, I'm really focused on anti-aging, let me focus in this sector. And with that being said, the concept of flex comes in. So flex, MAD flex, is when we're integrating 3 of these or more conditions. The 4-fruit enzyme mask is an example of flex, because that's going to benefit most everybody. If you've got an extreme rosacea, probably not the best selection, but just about everybody else, it's going to benefit you across the board. So that's where that MAD flex comes in, and that's a new concept that we designed with these new products in mind, is that flex.
The thing that I love about your whole line is even from your chemical peels to your serums, the thing that we've always talked about is having a cocktail. You talk so much about having something from your environmental line, something from your anti-aging line, to cocktail serums, so that the skin is getting the benefit of all the different antioxidants and peptides that you guys offer. I know that you have some of my favorite chemical peels. I've had through one of your distributors, California Skincare Supply, has done the layered peels. We've done the layered peels with the different masks that you have. You have there was like a really white mask. I think it was a sulfur. I can't really remember what they did.
Sulfur.
Yeah, so we did that one on top of, we did like 3 or 4 different MAD chemical peels, and then we did a couple of different masks on top of one another. And so I know that you guys can create like epic treatments that can hit anti-aging and hyperpigmentation. Like whenever they go after me, they hit me really hard with that Genesis growth factor peel. And then there's another one that's really good for hyperpigmentation. So they go at me with a couple different layers of the MAD peels and then a couple different masks. So those are some of the things that I think that the professionals watching can really benefit from using MAD, because you guys have peels that are designed to be layered on top of each other so that you can hit 3 or 4 different skin issues in one treatment. And I love that. I think it's like, it's a great benefit to the esthetician and it's a great benefit to the end consumer.
Yeah, Barry, thank you. Because it's just connecting the dots all the way back to the very beginning where maximum active dermaceuticals. So it's, you know, just like in the retail product, we're throwing all these different actives simultaneously at the skin at one time to drive that result, not allowing the skin to adjust, if you will, to it. Same with the professional treatments that we have and that are you as the mixologist, if you will, once you start working with a line, you'll start to get creative and you can make some pretty aggressive treatments.
Oh
Yeah. It definitely
aggressive.
is an aggressive line. Can be in a very aggressive line. But the nice thing is that, again, and not to take away from the new products, but because you brought up the older existing masks, each one of those comes with its own booster. That is included for free with that mask. The new ones, the new guys don't, but the older ones have a booster that's meant to be layered under the mask. It's sitting under that mask while that mask is solidifying, sitting, setting, whatever it's doing. That's the concept there. And that is free with each of the existing masks. But Barry, you're absolutely right. Back to the new guys, back to the new ones, you can get very creative with these products. And again, I'm sorry we don't have the Mandela 25% with CBD, but it does come in a bottle just like this. So we'll just make believe we're hiding that brightening for now. Pump dispenses very easily. There's no spillage. We have that neutralizing agent to neutralize whatever's remaining, because again, just like the existing peels, the Mandela 25% with CBD, it's designed to go into the skin. The skin is absorbing this material. So once it's in, it's in. You're the one controlling the penetration rate of that and how much the client takes in. If you feel like maybe you've hit that limit where you want to pull back a little bit, you just take a dry towel, absorb the excess that's still on the skin, neutralize it. If you feel like you can keep going and get away with a little bit more time, you simply keep working in and working in, or maybe you even add another pump and do more, right? It's all dependent upon the person that you're treating at the time. But it's nice to know that once it's in the skin, it's in there and it's going to start facilitating that change without sheet peeling. Because the concept with these peels is we want to do them more often with less downtime, right? I love a good old-fashioned, hardcore peel with downtime, don't get me wrong, but sometimes it can provide a little bit of a challenge, especially with how busy people are nowadays. So we love the fact that these are meant to facilitate change still aggressively, more often with no downtime, and you can get creative.
And the thing that I love, when I was talking with Michael, he said the coolest thing. I said, so Michael, with all of these products, you could have someone come in to the spot and you could create an entire facial with just your 4 new products. They could do an enzyme, then they could do the peel, then they could do the charcoal mask and finish off with the wheatgrass mask. So they could create an entirely new CBD wheatgrass charcoal facial. All of these earth, mother loving, like delicious products. And it could be like, get ready, we'll most likely be up and running for spring. And so it could be the greatest new spring into the new world facial.
Oh, totally. Yeah.
You could, get your fruit acid and then do your mandelic peel, then do your charcoal, then finish it all off with your wheatgrass and send them on their way with one of those MAD fabulous liquid foundations that are self-adjusting SPF 50, right? Hello.
Or one of the
Obsessed.
retail kits that we have, which comes with 4 little mini products, but there is a kit for each skin condition.
That's right.
And they're beautiful. I mean, when you see them on the retail area, they're just, the way that their package is beautiful. You get a generous amount of each one of those 4 products. I personally find them to be very, very affordable. They're not going to break the bank. And you get 2 to 3 months worth out of it. So right out of the gate, you've got your 4 base products, and then you can build from there. But at least they've got 4 as a jumping off point.
To get going. Right.
Yeah, cleanser, toner, cream, and then a mask even comes in each kit.
Thank you, Pauline. You can use that. Pauline loves my idea for earthly renewal facials. You're welcome. Have at it. Enjoy. Put it on your menu. Sell it. Get the MAD products.
And I think the black with the green is super cool for spring anyway. But
imagine those selfies, those client selfies. Let's get that going. That black charcoal mask makes an amazing selfie.
Very, very Vulcan. I love that.
Yeah, and again, it's that activated charcoal is the star of the show there. And I think, especially now, it's in toothpaste, it's in supplements. I've seen people take it in pill form to detoxify, internally. So consumers are definitely having their interest piqued by activated charcoal. So this would be a really fun experience for them too. And then, just maybe education at the end, tell them how it works. It's, again, that steam. That's how you're activating the charcoal to expand the surface area. The surface area is taking in all these toxins, and on and on and on, based on who you're with. Some people enjoy learning about it. Some people just more or less want to relax and enjoy the service. So, well,
on that note, all good things must come to an end, and as so, this MAD session needs to come to an end. So a couple of housekeeping tips, notes. We are going to do a replay. And if you don't already have the Lipgloss and Aftershave app, we invite you to download it from the App Store or Google Play so that you can watch this on replay, because several of our clients or some of our sponsors, session sponsors, have asked us to not publicly make these available to the public. So the best way to do it is to put them in the education tab of our app so that people who want to see them can find them through that. So we're going to do that. If you haven't answered, if you have questions for Christopher that you haven't gotten answered, it's Christopher@M.A.D Skincare.com. And then we'll be back at, I don't even know what time it is anymore, 2 o'clock. Jenny?
Guess what's happening at 2? We have a demo. You guys, facial demos are huge. People are loving these. Kaylin from Herbal Skin Solutions is going to nano infuse herself. So click back on the 2 o'clock link. Christopher, thank you so much. For all of the info
having
today.
us. Thank you guys so much for having us and for doing this to keep everything going, keep the education going. Thank you to the viewers, whoever joined us today. We're so excited to answer any questions you may have. Again, it's Christopher@MADSkincare.com. Follow us on Instagram, MAD Skincare USA, M.A.D Skincare USA. Don't forget the USA, very important. And then, check out madskincare.com, see what we have to offer. Also, keep the questions coming my way. I'm more than happy to, whether it's a call or email, to get the dialogue going. So thank you guys again so much.
Thanks
guys.
Bye-bye.